On a dusty plain near the Israeli bank of the Mediterranean, a group of archaeologists is taking part in a test of skill and endurance. This ancient landscape will soon be transformed by a new road, burying its secrets for future generations. But first, experts are looking for remnants of a bygone era on the ground. What they find will alter our understanding of civilization as a whole. Israel was a prosperous region, with ancient trading routes crisscrossing the fertile land. Experts made an incredible discovery there that rewrites what we know about civilization 1,000 years ago. Additionally, a settlement on the Israeli coastal plain could be traced back to the early Chalcolithic period. Archaeologists have slowly been revealing the secrets of this village, which transformed into something completely unexpected over the centuries. The ancient city of Enz, was first discovered in the 1950s, according to records. Be that as it may, it would be numerous a very long time before archaeologists would acknowledge exactly how critical the site truly was. They are now uncovering a sprawling metropolis that is truly stunning and has been compared to the former New York City by some. Today, the land where NS, once stood, is important for a more extensive district known as the Southern Levant, incorporating current Jordan, Palestine, and Israel. It is a definition that occasionally encompasses portions of Syria, Lebanon, and Egypt's Sinai Peninsula. What's more, for archaeologists, it is quite possibly the most interesting put on the planet. When humans left Africa and began to colonize Eurasia, it is believed that life in the southern Levant began millions of years ago. The area was lush and green at the time, which would have made it ideal for these early people to thrive. Some of the oldest human bones ever found in this region have been found at one location in the Jordan Rift Valley. We'll come back to these ancient finds later, but first, let's learn more about the rich past of the area. The Southern Levant is now recognized as a location of great political and historical significance. The British took control of Palestine in 1917, which eventually resulted in the establishment of Mandatory Palestine. As a direct consequence of this, tensions that existed between Arabs and Jews living in the region soon escalated to an all-time high. In the end, the State of Israel was established in 1948, providing a homeland for the Jewish people and evicting over 700,000 Palestinians at the same time. Although the dispute over borders and settlements continues to wreak havoc throughout the region to this day, the significance of the Southern Levant to Christianity, Islam, and Judaism has also contributed to an increase in tensions. Large numbers of the occasions examined in the Good Book worked out against the scenery of the Southern Levant, so the region is quite compelling to archaeologists wishing to acquire a superior comprehension of this heavenly text. It is also essential for those studying how civilization developed because of its connection to early humans. Levantine archaeology is the field of study that studies and excavations in the region fall under today. These activities are typically carried out by the Israel Antiquities Authority, or IAEA. Over the years, this work has uncovered sites that date back to prehistoric times and has revealed a great deal of fascinating information about the ancient world. The IAEA, as far as concerned, was established as the Israel branch of Ancient Pieces and Exhibition Halls back in 1948. From that point forward, it has been supervising the exhuming and listing of the district's numerous authentic fortunes. In addition, the organization was renamed in 1990, and it soon underwent significant expansion, enabling the team to begin conducting more in-depth archaeological surveys. However, in this turbulent region of the world, the IAEA's work has not been without controversy. A 6th century mosaic, for instance, was taken out of the troubled Gaza City in the Palestinian state in 1974 by the organization. In addition, although experts asserted that they were merely preserving the artwork, others considered this to be an illegal act by an occupying power due to Israel's control of the area at the time. The ownership of the famous Dead Sea Scrolls, which were first discovered in 1940 in caves near covering the Palestinian West Bank, continues to be the subject of debate elsewhere. One of the most significant archaeological finds ever made is these religious writings. After the Six-Day War, which Israel fought in 1967 with neighboring states, it bought some of the manuscripts and bought the rest. Israel still asserts ownership of the scrolls, displays them internationally, and even works to digitize the collection. However, some Palestinians have demanded that the manuscripts be returned, arguing that their 1967 acquisition was merely theft. Fortunately, not all IAS work has been so contentious. In 2019, for instance, for a dig, approximately 15,000 amateur archaeologists traveled to Russia's ancient settlement and northern Israel. The team consisted of volunteers, young people, and schoolchildren, according to reports. However, despite their lack of experience, they began to discover fascinating finds shortly after. After that, in October of that same year, approximately 8,500 volunteers spent the Jewish holiday of Sukkot helping to excavate the site, and one family from the nearby community of Terran truly struck gold. They discovered a Byzantine-era iron hammer and nails while they were submerged beneath the ground. Another effort to save archaeological treasures from massive construction was led by the IAEA. Archaeologists from the IAEA began conducting excavations before the planned construction of a new road junction on the Cheran Plain on Israel's Mediterranean coast. 2 years later, in October 2019, they revealed the results of their work beneath the plain, where they had discovered the remains of an ancient city whose scale had blown them away. Plans had been made to construct the new road junction approximately halfway between the cities of Haifa and Tel Aviv, as required by law in Israel. As indicated by reports, the presence of remnants on the site referred to as NSA was first noted as soon as the 18th 100 years. However, archaeologists did not begin to visit the site until the 1950s. Additionally, there were a few small excavations carried out there over the following decades. In an interview with the Times of Israel in October 2019, the co-director of the project, Dr. USART Paz, explained the significance of what archaeologists had discovered at NSA at the time. He stated that while we were aware of its magnitude and size, we were unaware of its magnitude. The ancient site was discovered by around 300 professionals working under the direction of 15 leaders during the excavations. Additionally, it became clear as the work progressed that NS was once a large city. It is thought to have covered around 160 acres, which is incredible. The city is exciting because it is the oldest and largest settlement from the early Bronze Age that has ever been excavated in southern Levant. Experts say it was built around 5,000 years ago. In fact, archaeologists believe that NSR once housed as many as 6,000 people. In the early Bronze Age, there were many large settlements all over the world. While NSR was flourishing hundreds of miles away, rulers in Egypt and Mesopotamia were in charge of much larger cities. Be that as it may, specialists don't know about any major political power joining the southern Levant at that point, given the absence of solidarity in the district than the sheer size of Ens, or has wild those engaged with its exhuming. Most authorities on the matter would agree. It was more than 10 times as big as Jericho, which is considered to be one of the oldest cities in the world. But it didn't just appear to be big. Its remains showed every one of the signs of a high-level development. Archaeologists and the SRS population, according to the IAEA, were scattered throughout the meticulously planned city in silos that were used to store food for the masses. Additionally, the settlement had streets paved with plaster and stones. Clearly, this would have diminished the gamble of flooding during the continuous wet climate that tormented southern Levant. Archaeologists also found that NSR had many public buildings for security, where people were guarded by a thick wall and buried in a designated location outside the city. In October 2019, IAEA archaeologist Elad told Haaretz, "You have the complete package of early urbanized settlements with all the components: streets, burial caves, domestic structures, walls, and public buildings." As we can see, this early Bronze Age community boasted many of the features that we have come to associate with urban centers over the years. In addition, Fascinating clues about the religion that was practiced in this early city were discovered by archaeologists when they discovered the ruins of a temple at the location. The enormous structure, which measured more than 80 feet in length, was littered with religious artifacts. Additionally, evidence suggests that the structure was constructed using substantial stones brought in from more than a mile away. In light of this, it would appear that the temple was significant to the people of Enzar. Archaeologists also found evidence that the people of Enz trade extensively with other parts of the world. It is believed that they did not communicate verbally. Pottery relics, on the other hand, make it abundantly clear that they had ties as far away as Egypt in the Jordan Valley. As a matter of fact, the proof recommends that NS was all once an organized and complex progress, not at all like anything more in the southern Levant around then, and thusly, it could give a few fundamental signs to how civilization was created in the district. Some have even compared the city to one of the world's most advanced modern metropolises. A group of archaeologists announced in a joint statement in October 2019 that this is the early Bronze Age New York of our region. It was a cosmopolitan and planned city with thousands of residents. Yet, the astonishments didn't stop there, since specialists before long found that seeing Enz are really gone back much farther than 5,000 years. Experts discovered the ruins of an even earlier settlement as they dug beneath the Enz ruins. It seems to have started around 7,000 years ago during the early Chalcolithic period in the 5th millennium BC. Also, as per archaeologists, it was a broad metropolitan place by its own doing, similar to the city that would come after it. Thanks for watching. If you want to see more videos like this, be sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell so you never miss a thing.